Naturally 101 is coursework based on the book Awake, the creator/she/he, a handbook addressing self-realization, who you are spiritually. The course includes the book Awake, Terms to Remember, and a quiz to check your understanding. Take it in private at your leisure. So enroll today and never again ask, who am I? Let's change the conversation so real change can take place. Good evening and welcome to You Naturally 101, coursework addressing self-realization. First, I'd like to give thanks to the Creator and the Sacred Feminine. I would also like to thank you, my listeners, followers, connections, my WordPress students, my Goodreads students, my LinkedIn students, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram students. Thank you. Thank you for your emails, your text messages, and your kind words. Every 3 months, I give away 3 of my books from my main website, awaken11-us.org. So enter to win. You can find other information from my main website, like information on events and lessons, videos, bookings, and conferences. Tonight's events will cover an overview about who I am, the books, and the course, You Naturally 101. We must know who we are before we can understand anything else about us. So let's change the conversation from race, religion, education, finance, and media. Let's get back to principles, which always should come first. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section and I will address them at the end of this broadcast. Now, for a backstory on me. As you know or may not know, I have been seeking and searching many books, articles, software, programs, etc. on how I fit into this place called Earth. I am not saying that I've learned all there is to know about my journey, but I have learned a lot about what I was seeking. The word reads in Matthew 7-8. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open. Well, this is what I did, and I can testify it has been nothing but a rewarding journey. When I was about 17 years old, my earthly father died. At that age, there was nothing in me that could answer the question why. So I just looked up and down and said, what happened? I don't understand. My nephew, also reared as my youngest brother, put his hand on my head and told me not to worry, that it would be okay. And the touch of his hand made me feel better. I believe that this was the moment that I felt the spirit of the Creator align with my spirit. As a young adult, I was frustrated and knew something was up. I did all the things I was supposed to do. I went to college, I got a new good job, and all of this I was still searching and seeking. One New Year's Eve, I was sitting on the my apartment floor and getting ready to do the Dick Clark thing, but I was bored. I glanced up at the TV, and on top of it was the Bible. I picked it up and turned to the New Testament. I started reading and did not stop for 3 days. It answered many of my questions about who and why I was. Finally, reading got my attention and the search was on. I then continued my life. I got married, had three wonderful boys, and opened my own business. The Creator allowed me to have this business so I could take time to seek Him and earn a living. I worked the business for 15 years and then I decided that I had had enough. Due to several events, a significant business closing next to me, the state requiring more of my money, and my mother passing, I decided to close my business. I thank the Creator for allowing me to have had the company and asked, what do I do now? The Creator led me back to read the Old Testament. I studied both Testaments when I was in college, but now I was going to read them for myself. I did, and it further answered many questions I had about the world and eternal life. The Creator favored me all of my life. I know this is hard to believe, but it is true. I am not saying that I haven't had trials and tribulations, but the trials and tribulation helps us to grow. But wait, my journey didn't stop here. My journey turned into an awakening. People have asked me many times, when did you begin writing? Although I never thought about it, my first memory of writing was when I was young. Growing up in a house of many siblings, me and being the 11th of 14, I came up with a way to express myself, whatever was bothering me, on by putting it down on tiny pieces of paper. I would then place these papers in a secret place in my closet. Transferring my thoughts onto the paper relieved me of the stress in my mind. I always sought the guidance of the Creator, even before I believed or felt the Spirit. The Creator has been a guiding light all my life. This same light led me to write down the testimonies in my first book, He Lives, a Living Testimony. This book consists of the Creator, of how the Creator showed up and showed out in my life. Written as I reared my sons, taking them back and forth to college. That book was the bridge to my next book, Awake, the Creator slash she slash he, which is a handbook addressing self realization. This book will define many words and events that took place from the past until now. My or our birthrights and inheritance, including the natural laws used interchangeably with spiritual laws, were stolen from us at birth, but can be restored if we give back what we took that did not belong to us. Being trained and programmed to break the first, second, and third commandment, we mask a person who acts on a stage called life. We are sons, not persons. We can take off the mask and reconcile to the Creator and His creation. It is the natural laws, our spiritual laws, versus man's laws that God is here. Do not get them confused. There is a difference. I will reveal the deception of the occult. Occult means hidden meaning and messages of words and events. So Keep the above in mind as you read the books and take the course. You, I, and our all of us, we have a choice regarding who we will serve if we only wake up. You Naturally 101 is coursework based on the book Awake, the creator slash she slash he, a handbook addressing self realization, who you are spiritually. The course includes the book Awake, terms to remember, and a quiz to check your understanding. Take it in private at your leisure. So enroll today and never again ask, who am I? Let's change the conversation so real change can take place. All right, glad we're back. Now, I would like to talk about my reason for doing the course and the courseware. Hold on a second. Let me adjust this screen. There's nothing new under the sun. This is what I say to people all the time. There's nothing new under the sun. You've heard it. You've heard it in church. You've heard people say it many times. But really, know that there is nothing new under the sun. I am a commemorator of the natural laws, our spiritual laws. I bring back to memory things of the past that have governed our present day. I did not write these books to be liked, famous, or to make money or friends. I wrote these books because I recognize the overwhelming ignorance of this critical information. It is my moral obligation and responsibility to get this information out to others who seek the truth. Truth by itself is belligerent. It wages war against all forms of deception and mind control. Every person who desires to take away any real value from these books should make a deliberate and conscious effort to do two things. First, set aside any preconception of me, the writer, perception as tone or who I am. Paying attention to such trivialities will distract mental focus away from the information read. The data is essential, not me. Second, a consciousness of any feeling to reject this information solely based on emotions will be a fallacy. Do not think with your emotions. When someone or something is read but not liked, it cannot be rejected based on emotions. Feel the feelings, but do not say that the emotions or that the information cannot be accurate. Please do not believe me. It is about checking out the information. It is about a process of truth discovery. It is about doing your due diligence and research. Lastly, this information is a tapestry, a whole work. Therefore, please read these books in their entirety. Otherwise, the tapestry will not be recognized while wasting your time. To know and not to do is not to know. All right, next I will talk about the books themselves. These books are, hold on a second, let me get this right. These books are spiritual guides and not intended as a substitute for medical or physician's advice. The reader should seek or consult a licensed medical practitioner regarding any symptoms that they may require a diagnosis or medical attention. The great work is to end slavery. The great work should be a shared responsibility to help others seek the truth unapologetically, even when we feel burdened or uncomfortable. So ask, seek, and knock, and do not leave your salvation up to any man. The Creator works through men, but the relationship should be a vertical one, you and the Creator. And I dedicate this book, or the Awake book, to all the sons, male or female, of the past, present, and future. The great work is to end slavery, one mind at a time. Now I will give you a definition of what the natural laws are. Natural laws, our spiritual laws. Natural laws, are the spiritual laws, are a set of universal, inherent, objective, non-man-made, eternal, and immutable conditions that govern the consequences of the behavior of beings, with the capacity to understand the differences between harmful and non-harmful behavior. The understanding of the natural laws is centered on aligning our consciousness with objective morality. And objective morality means definitely knowing which behaviors are right because they do not cause harm to other beings, and which behaviors are wrong because they do cause harm to other beings. Next up, I'm going to go over the course outline and give you a little bit more details on what you would be learning in the course. All right, You Naturally 101 curriculum. What you're going to learn in the course is one, I'm going to be defining many words and terms. Lesson 1, Chapter 1 will deal with dear friends, and I will be defining different terms in Lesson 1, terms such as the words guiding light, trained, programmed, occult, journey, eternal life, and what the awakening process is. In Lesson 2, I would be discussing and defining terms such as words, signs, symbols, metaphors, encoded messages, spiritual death, fables, the ancients, heaven, anthrotheology, paganism. In lesson number 3, Calling Jesus God in Music, we will be learning about the messenger, hymnals, gospel music, and Christian music. Lesson 4, Meaning of Words, I will define what is language, kindergarten, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. I will be talking about the birth certificate, the sacred geometry, and subliminal messaging. Chapter 5, we will learn terms such as esoteric philosophy, belief, religion, sovereignty, wisdom, esoteric philosophy, masculinity, energy, or masculine energy, and feminine energy. We will also be learning terms such as rebellion, the psyche, the Commission School Mystery Schools, genocides, immoral behavior, courage, and sacrifice. Moving on to lesson 7, we will be learning about skepticism, ignorance, the Trinity, plane of cause, transgressions, authority, government, the limerick system, and plane of effects. In lesson 7, We will be learning under what do you really know terms such as a person, origin, natural beings, artificial persons, self governing, mass, public, one, your civil life, and monopoly. Lesson 8, the deception lesson. You will be learning about consent, confusion, democracy, evolution, dominion, renewing, and liberty. And in lesson number 9, we will go over terms such as symbolism, signs, colors, and the goddess. From there, we will have a conclusion, what it is all about. All right. So, what I would like to do now, if anyone has any questions concerning any of the information that I just spoke about, please put your comments into the comment section. And while you're doing that, I would like to speak on something that I have found in my studies about the awakening process. The awakening process. I'm going to read this because, most people won't take the time to do so, but I'm going to take the time to do so because I have time. All right. This is an excerpt from A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose by Eckhart Tolle. And he wrote this in 2005. What is the awakening process? The awakening process is a shift in consciousness in which thinking and awareness separates. It is not an event, but a process you undergo. Even those rare beings who experience a sudden, dramatic, and seemingly irreversible awakening will still undergo a process. The new state of consciousness gradually flows, transforms everything we do, and become ingrained into our lives. Instead of being lost in your thinking, you recognize yourself as the awareness behind it when you are awake. Thinking then ceases to be a self-serving, autonomous activity that takes you and runs your life. Instead, awareness takes over from thinking. Instead of being in charge of your life, thinking becomes the servant of awareness. And awareness is a consciousness connection with the universal intelligence. A lot of us like to call him God. I call him creator. A lot of people still calling him Jesus, but it's a universal intelligence. Another word for awakening is presence, consciousness without thought. The initiation of the awakening process is an act of grace. You cannot make it happen or prepare yourself for it or take credit towards it. Although the mind would love that, there isn't a tidy sequence of logical steps that leads towards it. You don't have to become worthy first. It may come to the sinner before the saint, but not necessarily. There is nothing that you can do about awakening. Whatever you do will be the ego trying to add awakening and enlightenment to itself as its most prized possession. thereby making itself more important and bigger. So instead of awakening, you add the concept of awakening to your mind or the mental image of what an awakening or enlightened person is like. But living up to an image of yourself or that others people have of you is inauthentic living. Another unconscious role the ego plays. Only the first awakening, the first glimpse of consciousness without thought, happens by grace, unmerited favor, without any doing on your part. It cannot be reserved once it has done, or I'm sorry, it cannot be reversed once it has done. And although the ego can delay it, for some, the awakening happens as they suddenly become aware of the thoughts they habitually think, especially persistent negative thoughts that they may have been identified with all their lives. Then suddenly the awareness is aware of the thought but is not part of it. Once you have had a glimpse of awareness or presence, you know it firsthand. It is no longer just a concept of your mind. You can consciously choose to be present rather than indulge in useless thinking. You can invite presence into your life, that is, to make space. With the grace of awakening comes responsibility. You can either try to go on as if nothing happened or see its significance and recognize the arising awareness of the most important thing that can happen to you. Opening up yourself to the emerging consciousness and bringing its light into this world becomes the primary purpose of your life. So while you are still waiting for something significant to happen in your life, you may not realize that the most significant thing that can happen to a human being has already happened within you. The beginning of the separation process of thinking and awareness. Many people going through the early stages of awakening process are no longer sure what their outer purpose is. What drives the world no longer drives them. Seeing the madness of the civilization so clearly, they may feel somewhat alienated from the culture around them. Some think that they inhabit a no man's land between two worlds. The ego no longer runs them, yet the arising awareness has not yet fully integrated into their lives. Inter outer process have not merged. I hope this wasn't too long, but I hope that it was very beneficial to you because, it's all about now, well, for me, it is all about the awakening process because this process frees you. This process allows you to walk seeing things as they should be seen and not indoctrinated to see things as the group sees them. So now I will open up the broadcast to anyone that would like to, that has a question. Let's see. Let me see what my chat says. All right. Yes. Don't let me forget how to sign up for the class. It's very simple. You just go to my main website, awaken11-us.org. And there I have a link on the very front page where you can go to, or you can go to Harton's Market there on the website and click on that link and sign up for the class. You can sign up for the class either the class with the coursework, or you can buy the book only. Either book, He Lives or Awake, you can buy these books by themselves, or you can buy the course. Now, the way the course works is once you purchase the course, I will send you the book, including the first lesson of the book, along with a quiz. Now, these quiz need to be answered and emailed back to me. I have the instructions there on the page. You will email the quiz back to me. Once I receive the quiz, I will correct the quiz. I will let you know what you did on the quiz, and then I will send the next terms to remember in the quiz. This will go on for the first 9 lessons. The last lesson will be a final exam. And then what will come from that, I will issue you a certificate of completion of knowing what has happened in the past up to the days present and the natural laws, our spiritual laws. Not a lot of people know what natural laws are. You can ask anyone anytime, do you know what natural laws are? They won't know. So my whole purpose is to get out this information to people that are seeking. There are people that are seeking. I am not trying to bother people that aren't seeking, that are happy with the way their life is going and what is going on in their lives. That is not my job. I am a messenger. I bring a message from research that I have done. I have lists of sources in the back of the book. So it's not my opinion, it's not their opinion, it's just information that has been searched out that we did not get when we were born into this earth. We were indoctrinated. We were not educated on the natural laws, our spiritual laws. Let's see if we have another question. Oh, I have a student that says he is enjoying the quiz. That is wonderful. Keep on going. Get your certificate so you can help me spread the word. Is there any other questions out there for me? Anything? It could be about the book, myself, or the course. All right. If not, I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast, and I will see you in the next event. The next event, I'm going to start going over the lessons, the terms, and the quiz. It will be a discussion more so than just the broadcast. This was just an introduction to let you know who I am, the books, and then also the course. So I hope I was clear. And if not, please, you can email me anytime at awakenus at yahoo.com. All right. Thank you and good night. Thank you.